My name is James William Stringer. This is, oh Lord. This is Comfort Havoc number 2. Sadly, that's not why I'm doing this. This is my rehearsal video. This is like the 4th or 5th video that I'm attempting to do this. 2 are invisible, 3 are like this. So I guess this is video 5 of my rehearsal for, my, my domestic violence class. Okay, so here we go. Good evening, class. My name is James Williams Jr. My report is on bullying. The title of my report is Bullying from Kindergarten to College. The reason why I chose this is because, in a nutshell, that's my life. I have been bullied from kindergarten all the way to college. So, I'll give you more details about my life later. Right now, I kind of want to just get through the main part of it, and then if you have questions about my life or about these things that I'm reading out, that would be great. Also, for the record, I'm probably not going to read these cards, but I'm using them as a base to keep me from being nervous, as well as to keep my subject matter in order. They have numbers. Anyway, so let's go. The definition of a bully. A bully is a person who causes or threatens people in some form or another. I don't know why it says causes. I guess that's the definition I got. Anyway, the definition of bullying, there's two, depending on where you go. A, definition of bullying is a form of taunting, teasing, as well as threatening to bring harm to someone mentally or physically with the act of brutality and violence. B, intimidation through menacing, terrifying threats. I have been a victim of menacing and terrifying threats. And sadly, as a martial artist, that's like not something that I am going to be proud of ever. Okay, so the styles and types of bullying. I have they, it should be the styles and the types of bullying. Childhood bullying. This age group goes from the age of 5 to 17 years of age. And the reason why I stopped at 17 is because by the time you're 18, you're legally an adult. Alright? So, let's go into adult bullying, since that's the next thing. Adult bullying is from the age 18 and up. And adult bullying can come in many forms as well. We won't go too deep into that. It's just the fact that it's the same childish BS, only now it's adults doing it instead of children. Racial bullying. Racial bullying is very important to me because I've been a victim of that all my life, from kindergarten to college. And racial bullying specifically is about your race, your ethnic background, your cultural divide between you and other people's backgrounds and cultures and stuff like that. Workplace bullying. Yes, this does happen. Happens on the jobs about 20%. Most of it's probably more than 20%, but most of it doesn't go reported because no one wants to go to the boss and say, hey, this person is picking on me and you guys need to handle it. Now, in the event that they do go, there is a thing called HR. So the hiring representative generally is the person who handles that kind of thing. Okay. Signs of bullying. A, behavior changes. Self-explanatory, but it's behavior changes. High anxiety, mental, as well as physical health decline. All those are self-explanatory. I don't really have a lot of definitions for that, and so I didn't really go too deep into it. How to tell your child is being bullied. Okay, so these definitions are sketchy at best, alright? Because sometimes it's not bullying, sometimes it's something else. And for the record, I want to say that, sometimes it could be something else. Bedwetting, A. If your child normally does not wet the bed, but out of the blue starts wetting the bed, it could be a form of them being bullied. And 2, again, we got behavior changes. It's self-explanatory. If your child's behavior has suddenly changed. If your child went from being popcorn fairies and unicorns to darkling devils and lords and things, and it's not because he's playing Dungeons and Dragons. It could be a sign that he's being bullied or she's being bullied. The eating habits. If your kid no longer likes their favorite food, so let's say they like macaroni and cheese, and all of a sudden they would rather throw the macaroni and cheese at you and take an ass whooping than eat it. Poor sleeping habits. Again, both of these, the eating habits and the poor sleeping habits, doesn't necessarily mean that your child is being bullied, but they are on the list of signs that your child is being bullied. It's on those pamphlets that I've given you, so you should probably all deal with that as best we can. Poor sleeping habits. If your child just refuses to get proper sleep, and they're falling asleep in class as opposed to going home and actually going to bed as if they've not been told to go to bed, could be a sign of them being bullied. Alright, poor grades. This is important because this one is more than likely true to life. If you have an A student who all of a sudden drops down to like a C or a D, like in the middle of the year for no apparent reason, they just like start slacking off and just don't give a damn anymore, it's more than likely that they're probably being bullied or they're having other issues that you want to dive into so that you can figure it out and get your kid back up to an A standing. Unusual high stress mentally. This is self-explanatory because every person on earth is different and only you knows what your stress level is. High anxiety jobs and things like that doesn't mean you're being bullied, it just means that you have high anxiety jobs. But stress levels and stuff in children are a little bit different. So it could be a sign that they're being bullied. Unusual bruising, cuts, and scrapes. This is also self-explanatory, but you look at your kid every day, you're going to notice if there's a bruise somewhere that there shouldn't be. You're going to notice, especially if your kid's not playing sports, because athletes play sports, they get bruised up all the time. So if your kid's not playing sports, but he's coming back with athletic type bruises, something needs to be done. And you would definitely notice a bruise, and you would definitely notice a cut or a scrape. It's not something that you would obviously miss unless you're just not really aware of your situation, awareness for your child. Alright, the most important one is H. If your child is talking or thinking about suicide, that is the biggest red flag ever. If you happen to just walk in and your son's writing down suicide notes, or he's talking to people on the phone, it's like, yeah, I should commit suicide, or I wish I was dead, or something like that, then it's more than likely a sign that your child needs some serious help, and you should get him that help or her that help ASAP. Running away from home, that's self-explanatory, and as a person who has been bullied, I have also attempted to run away from home at least 3 or 4 times since I was 7 years old. And it wasn't because my home life was bad, even though my home life wasn't all that great, it wasn't so bad that I needed to run away from it. Also, you have to learn that running away doesn't always solve your problems. Okay. The what's and whys that lead to bullying. Problems at home. If bullies are having problems at home, they probably are the reason your kid is being bullied, because they're being bullied at home, or they're being bullied by other bullies somewhere in their area. So to work it out or make them feel a little bit better about themselves, they bring their problems to school. Problems at school. They're probably at school being bullied by other bullies, so they're bullying kids as well, because it's a vicious cycle that just doesn't end. Alright? C, there's no discipline at home. They have no discipline, so no one's told them that bullying is wrong. Nothing's done about it, rather it's at home or at school, so if there's nothing being done about it, they have no discipline. And D, the truth as it may be, some people are inherently just mean as hell and do it just because they can and because no one is stopping them. In my case, in high school, my biology teacher let the bullies bully me from the beginning of the school year until the middle of May, when I brought my nunchucks to school and threatened to kill them all. Okay, so yeah, that was a confession. And if you guys out there who were bullying me watching, we have unfinished business. The king is not dead. I'm just on vacation. So, Places or locations of bullying. Their environment. The home, the neighborhood, the people, the schools. Speaking of schools, that brings us to B, the schools on all levels, from kindergarten to college, because sometimes people just don't grow up, and they go to school and complete the same process that they completed in all the other schools. Jobs and workplace. This is C. Yes, again, this does happen in the jobs and workplaces. There are bullying going on. Most of it doesn't go really reported, so I didn't dive too deep into it for that. But other places, which is D, airports, bus stations, train stations, public parks, etc. Yes, people are bullied there, and by now you probably all have seen someone somewhere being bullied by someone somewhere, because we all have these devices called cell phones. Alright? So, let me get to the final points now. And then if you guys have questions, you can feel free to ask. The tragic conclusions as a result of bullyings. A. There is not a lot of legal action that can be taken against a bully in most school systems from state to state. However, there is small forms of damage control, such as removing the students, putting them in alternative schools, suspension, and expulsion. Those help a little bit. There are only temporary solutions. B. Sadly, it seems to be an increasingly rising in most of Sadly, bullying seems to be increasingly rising in most schools from state to state, and it still goes rarely reported. I totally screwed that up for everybody watching on video. C. Not many people are immune to the victimization of bullying, no matter the type of bullying, because bullying is an issue that's not just locally, but also globally. Probably should rewrite these. The sad truth is that bullying has been one of the most leading causes in the uprising of childhood, teenage, as well as adult suicide rates. As a result, it is also 10 to 25% getting worse. And finally, just an extra note on bullying. So due to the upgrade of human society and technology, as well as our easy access to get it and use it, the high-tech form of cyberbullying, although it has come down or it is not being reported as much, it is also a major cause that has also led to playing a role in increasing suicide amongst all groups of people. Thank you guys. Any questions?